The first part that I like to talk about is what is most. And what most allows you to do is basically input information about a document at your MFP screen. So if you're scanning invoice or contracts, you could manually enter that information at the MFP screen, or you could even look up information from a database. You can copy documents and route them to specified destinations, whether it's email or archive, fax. Like I said, you can look up information from databases. If your client has a custom database that they keep up to date, as long as it's ODBC compliant, we'll be able to make a connection to it. You can then access that from any MFP that has most running on it. You can look up fax numbers, email addresses. Those can be looked up from your database again, or they can be looked up from your Active Directory system. A lot of companies keep that kind of up to date, and you can utilize that LDAP system. You can enter subjects, notes, titles, and descriptions for faxes or emails. If you want to archive a document to, let's say, your home folder, a lot of clients have home directories set up in their LDAP system, and those can be utilized as well. You can customize the MFP screen depending on the client's needs, and we'll go over that, and we'll show you the Most Designer to kind of show you how you can modify the screens and customize them to what you're looking for. Now, some of the benefits of Most, you have LDAP authentication, which allows you to use the client's pre-existing usernames and passwords. There's no extra configuration needed, and you don't need to manage the users. It's encrypted, so it's secure. Convenience factor allows you to access your database or your email or your fax machine from anywhere on the MFP. So let's say you have 50 MFPs, but one fax server. You can scan from all those MFPs and send it through that one fax server without any trouble. You can deliver the documents to multiple places at the same time. Let's say you wanted to archive and email a document at the same time. That could be easily done. Again, Most is customizable depending on what the client's looking for. You can easily create the screens and modify them based on the client's needs. Changing the way that the interface looks on Most is pretty easy. Basically, you change it on the server, and the next time that the MFP connects to that server, it's going to refresh and basically display the new screen. So once Most is running on all the MFPs, there's no need to go to each MFP individually. It's all done from the server. It's also convenient because we have that MFP installation tool, which allows you to install Most to the MFPs right from the server. So we're trying to minimize the amount of time and legwork to go between the server and the MFP and the convenience. It also has a software development kit, which allows you to basically create software to interact with third-party software. So a lot of our connections is done with our SDK. Basically, you can create custom integrations into other products to have Most interact with them. And the SDK is written in just Microsoft Visual Studio.net. Okay, so the slide I just skipped was just installing Reform and basically how to install the Rico emulator, which I believe I already have installed. Now, discussing the 4 parts of Most. The first part is the Most Manager, and that's the application that actually runs on your server. It handles the communication, the transferring of the files, it logs the information, and you can also set several parameters or settings within the manager. The Most Designer is where you create your interfaces, your screens. You can create a screen for each type of MFP, whether it's B, C, F. Display each screen differently if you need to because there's size limitations. You can also manage the users and groups from the Most Designer, whether it's using an LDAP system or if you were to create your own local users. It is possible to create local users just for Most. The third part would be the Most Java client, and that's the software that actually gets installed onto the MFP. One requirement for Most on the MFP is that Java must be installed and running. The fourth part is the Most Remote Control, and that's basically the tool that we use to install Most, uninstall Most, or update the Java version on the MFP, and that allows us to do it all right from the server. Like I said before, we try and limit the amount of legwork that you need to do to go to the MFP and back.